All right, welcome back. We're having way too much fun on this set right now. A new study shows which of the three major generations will retire the wealthiest, and the results may surprise you. Millennials leading the pack, saving more than baby boomers and Gen Xers on average. Joining us right now, the best-selling author of Retire Inspired, Ramsey Solutions financial expert Chris Hogan. Chris, good to see you in the flesh.
Yes.
We're happy you're here.
Thank
Normally
you.
we talk to you when you're remote. Were you surprised by these results?
I really am. And as you really start to look at it, you understand they may have a better start, but the key, Maria, is are they doing enough? You know, it's not enough just to be better. They need to make sure they're plugging in and they're intentional.
But they don't have, they're just getting a job. I mean, how are they going to save, also, you know, live and have money to
well, they're living
extra
in their parents' basement, so they don't have
some
rent,
of them.
right?
Some of them, yeah. Be careful with that one.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing is understand that you got to get yourself out of debt. Okay, that's job number one. Keep lifestyle intact and attack debt, and then you'll earn the right to be able to save for later.
But I think millennials are getting the point that it's more important for them to save because by 2034, Social Security is gone, right? So for every seven
I think
people,
they know that.
Yeah.
They understand
totally.
that. They
because they get that first paycheck and they see their Social Security come out and they're like, "What is this? Where's this going? I'm not going to get this," and it's a big amount for them. And so I think they're starting to understand that. Listen, maybe I should start saving money because I'm not going to get it later. So I think there's really a shift in this generation because they also have apps that say, "Hey, save money, invest in stocks." I mean, they're being inundated with this.
Yeah.
Do you think this is one of the reasons why the fintech revolution is leading them to?
I hope so.
We all want to know who that guy FICA is and why he's taking all our money.
I want to find it.
Yeah.
I really do. But I think it's one of those things that hopefully the awareness for them, they're starting to see it and understanding how money works. They've also lived through their parents dealing with things, you know, the financial situation in 06 and 08. And so they've seen things. Now, hopefully the lesson is sticking, right? Because a lot of parents, they're prioritizing, if you look at this, they're prioritizing saving for their kids' college over their own retirement. 70%. That scares me, right? And there's a 59% chance that the kid will go to college and graduate. But there's a 100% chance you're going to have to retire. And so what we have to do is get people to kind of wake up and look at this and realize they've got the best intentions. The problem is they're not working the best plan.
I mean, you're surprised by these trends, except that we've also seen the same generation is using credit cards less. They're not having as much debt. They're being much more conservative with how they spend their money. Yeah. And so is it that surprising that this generation is saving more for retirement?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm really that surprised, you know, really with it. I think, will they sustain it? Are they doing enough? It's like what we see with the baby boomers. A lot of them are looking back now going, I wish I would have done more sooner. So I think this is one of those things. Can they sustain it, and are they really intentional, and do they know if they're doing enough?
So let me ask you, I'm a member of the bad generation, Generation X, that isn't doing enough. What can we do to start now for those retirement years?
I think the biggest thing is to start to figure out that retirement's not an age, it's a financial number. So we're not just waiting to get to some magic age for a magic genie to show up, right? But really looking at this and understanding, okay, what do I want to do? What's my dream? And then what can you control right now? So it's those daily financial decisions. Cut back in your budget, right? Start to utilize and say, I need to know the difference between a want and a need. And a lot of people confuse those two. And so those needs are your housing, your food, the clothing, and transportation. And really be intentional and start to utilize the 401k.
Not the new pair of shoes.
You can have a pair, but save up and pay cash. Maria's confessing here, I think.
I thought I needed.
I want a prime rib steak, but I can have a piece of chicken.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Right. But we've got to just understand, it makes you not have as much guilt if you're working a plan. And, you know, if I'm putting money in a 401k, you know, or I know I'm putting it away, I know what I'm doing in my IRA, now you can pay with cash and not have guilt.
I think it's interesting when you look at retirement numbers. So looking at early and unexpected retirement, up to 50% of retirees at points over the last 20 years have said they retired too early. And I agree with that. You should never retire too early because you just for your own longevity. What are the main causes of early retirement? How do you know when it's the right time? And most people that I've spoken with, they're not necessarily retiring to the hammock. They're just doing something different.
That's exactly right. I think it boils down, it's about options, right? If you put away enough money, now you can do the things you want to do when you want to do it. But I think when people start to pull the trigger too fast, they get frustrated on their job, right? They feel like they've been trapped for 25 to 30 years, and they're looking for a change, right? And so it could be some health status in there as well. And so I would just encourage people, if you do that, you need to make sure you've got enough money put away that you can live on without accessing your retirement account.
Yeah, and the important thing that I think is very underreported is the looming pension crisis for a lot of these cities. They're unfunded liabilities that are approaching. They're completely underfunded, and you're seeing even Kentucky, for example, they're talking about raising taxes to help the shortfalls. So you've got some big issues coming up. So you've got to focus on what you can actually live off of, because your pension may not be there or to the amount you think.
That's right. And they cannot necessarily get rid of it, but they can scale back your pension.
Yeah.
And so people have been working hard and they don't know that. And so it's really one of those things where you ultimately want to stay in control of your own financial future. You can't put it off onto someone else.
All right, we will leave it there. Chris Hogan, great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
Can't get enough of y'all. You got a great voice.